for the Rapids. You're going to look to leave it all out on the pitch. Pires gets the ball back from Eli Allen. We mentioned all the new faces for Colorado, but LA also have to rely on rookies or newcomers in order to find success here tonight and throughout the 30 matches of the 2008 season.
And there's a nice compliment. When you see Eli Allen, one of the things that he did well through preseason is his mobility, getting into the spots, moving, making himself available. You see early pressure on from Colorado. They're starting with Omar Cummings because he's got incredible intensity and pace, so they're going to pressure high, try to put those back four back from LA.
Kosuke Kimura. Only 4 starts in the 07 season for the Japanese player, playing it right back. Throw in Terry Cook. Omar Cummings will keep company with Christian Gomez. Christian Gomez, the only Gomez out there in the starting 11. Also new signing Rafael Gomez, and of course Hercules Gomez, which could be complicating things for the remainder of the campaign. Here's Michael Gavin, one of 2 rookies from the collegiate ranks out there for Ruud Gullit's side. Stephen Keel, Sabuna Kandul. Burciaga Jr., this is an onside ball for Colin Clark.
And that's a pity because this is a wasted opportunity. That ball right there, the vision, initially, he peeled off perfectly into the attacking third. Got 5 yards behind Chris Klein. Fantastic, impeccable pass from Burciaga Jr. It was open and he had 2 players coming into the area, Cummings and Christian Gomez.
Clark, the local product from Fort Collins. It's going to be a scratch to the lineup, but that's the fitness test for Fernando Clavijo. He will reside on that left side of the midfield. Won by Erpen. Nick Labroca. Steve Cronin, obviously butterflies in his stomach, although he played for LA throughout their preseason. His first MLS start here in 08, he only has 6 all-time starts in his previous campaigns. There's Fernando Clavijo.
You see a lot of tight marking off the standard situations in the midfield. It's very compact. For me, it's too slow of a tempo. You need quicker movement in the midfield, really get the ball going, trying to accelerate the pace. One of the things I think we're going to see tonight, Max, Eli Allen, Carlos Ruiz, and especially Landon Donovan trying to utilize their speed. Donovan is going to be the one going up against that back 4. The 2 central defenders, Stephen Keel and Erpen, are good at reading the play and positioning themselves, but the speed is a factor. As this game opens up, I think that's going to be the biggest challenge for Colorado.
Buna Kandul, 30 starts for the Rapids, had a nice summer. Or I should say, depending on what hemisphere you're in, but he helped represent Senegal in the African Cup of Nations, actually played in a match started against South Africa. What an experience for him, and he's going to certainly take that back here for Clavijo. There's Ruud Gullit, member of the Dutch national team that won the '88 European champions, also played in that 1990 World Cup.
Yeah, fantastic play. You saw his head go down a little bit because he wants to establish that early rhythm, and they haven't really settled in yet. You see that Ruiz has been kind of trying to position his body against the back player there, Erpen, early on.
And this is what you'd expect in the opening match. We were watching the Houston-New England game, and they came out gangbusters, end to end. It was very precise, but the way we've seen things begin here is more the norm.
And I think that has a little bit to do with the weather as well. It's so fresh and crisp. They kept the ball down. It was a fantastic game.
Keel. Kandul. In addition, going to Ghana for the African Cup of Nations, also went to France in the preseason. Pires knocks it away. Dangerous stuff for LA as Clark harassed Colin Clark.
I think that Christian Gomez was surprised when he was all alone, getting past the back 4 there alone. It just went off. Poor technical touch.
Burciaga Jr., great crosser of the ball with him on the left and Cook on the right. There'll be a lot of activity in the middle with Christian Gomez and Omar Cummings. Now Ruiz. No support. Kimura. Well, time now for our first Christopher's approaches of the 08 season.
I think we ought to use this for the crowd, but I think Colorado needs energy, high pressure. They got to close down, stay compact, cohesive in the midfield. Also, speed of transition is so important and integral. Intelligent in possession, maintaining the possession, forcing LA to go from side to side without the ball, and the collective support and attack, because they're only playing with one forward. They need those deep attacking runs like we just saw a moment ago.
Allen filled in the gaps. Ruiz, Allen lets it run. Donovan eluding Facundo Erpen, who was actually traded in the Greg Vanney trade that sent him to DC. Vanney now member of the Galaxy. Speaking of the Galaxy, the LA approaches.
Well, I think for LA, they need that attacking initiative early on because of the altitude. Establish a rhythm, establish control, get a hold of the ball, manage the game. And then finally, the collective balance and coordination, how they're moving on both sides of the ball. And I think this is important to incorporate Donovan and Beckham.
Ruiz offside again after it went off the kneecap of Beckham. Ruiz looked really invigorated in the preseason, obviously excited about the prospects of rejoining the Galaxy, playing with Landon Donovan. They didn't really play together. It was an allocation allowed by Ruiz when he moved him that allowed them to bring in Donovan in the first place. But now with Beckham, what a trio up front. Haven't really had a chance to display that in the early stages. Allen, very brave win right in front of Di Raimondo. Lifted into an onside Ruiz, who goes towards a far post. Awkward save by Candules. He didn't bend the knees whatsoever.
Well, good timing of the movement. Three-man combination. Allen comes in, is able to release the ball quickly in the feet of Beckham, and Beckham has that entire view of the field. He sees Ruiz getting around the back post. Fantastic ball from Beckham.
Blocked by Michael Gavin. All the talk of Celestine Babayaro, Mike Randolph. It's Gavin, the rookie from Portland, University of Portland, who starts at left back. Cummings, Cook's offside.
Yeah, one of the things that we're seeing, Max, from up here, our panorama, Donovan's got to come back and help out Gavin a little bit. I know he just came off a long flight, but Gavin's trying to get forward. He's overlapping every time. He needs to be able to support out of the back and build up the structure of the play from LA, because out of the back four haven't looked on. Here's the last little ball here from Beckham. He just can't get around with his body.
Well, you mentioned the long flight. Let us document that here while we have a moment. Landon Donovan playing on Wednesday for the United States in Krakow, Poland. Came back. Beckham playing for England against France. Coming back from that trip, so long trips for both of them.
Right, this is better football right here from the Galaxy.
Klein leaps it across. Terry Cook. Erpen for Kimura. Big touches, doesn't pay off for LA. Cook with the pirouette. Koski Kimura.
That's the kind of reaction you're looking for in the midfield from Cook right there. Good opening. You see, they spring the midfielder. He's all alone to relay. This is the way you zip the ball wide.
Excellent ball by LaBrocca. Picks out Clark. Underneath for Gomez, who wants to play in that deeper position. He gets a chance here. Marked by Xavier. Free kick. Our referee, by the way, Abby Okulaja, will reward the Rapids with their best chance while the ball has been stopped.
And this is nice. You see Christian Gomez just pausing, pulling back away, bringing in Xavier. But you got to give LaBrocca, for making himself available, the credit. Coming, zipping it out wide. Nice opening of the field for Colorado. They've looked good coming out of the back. One of the things that Fernando Clavijo was talking about initially, he was going to play Kelly Gray on the right. He said, Jose Burciaga Jr., these are the players that treat the ball well. They come out playing. That's how he's transforming his team.
Kelly Gray, signed by the Rapids on Friday. Spent the offseason and the end of last season with LA. Free kick here. Burciaga Jr. the left, Christian Gomez the right. He takes it, hits the wall off of Eli Allen. Here comes Alvaro Pires. They lobby for a handball, not heard. The ball off the post! And it's followed in by Cook! Terry Cook! 1-0 for the Rapids. 10 minutes in.
You look at how many players from Colorado responded after the free kick. Comes back out, direct strike, hits off the post. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players in the area. He just laces it beautifully. Near post, fantastic strike. Big goal for Colorado.
Terry Cook, 7 assists last season, but no goals. That is a rarity for the Englishman. He scores the first goal of the season for the Rapids. Only his 3rd career goal. provides the best service. He really was the Beckham that we had in the league until the arrival of Becks. Christian Gomez thumping it in off the post after the free kick. Cook cleaned it up. Maybe that'll awaken the Galaxy here. Finally awoke the crowd here, who were a bit tepid in the early minutes. Donovan, throw in for Colorado.
That's well done, staying close to Donovan right there. He started getting the individual response. Here's the strike. Look at the surprise. The keeper reacts actually really well, but he just leaves a little bit of space at the near post. Wonderful strike.
Over the head of Cook. Cummings, the Jamaican. Vainas gets that across to Eli Allen. Allen back to Vainas, to Vanni. Xavier.
And we're starting to see for the first time Beckham starting to come in a little bit more central, trying to orchestrate, get involved, incorporate other players into the play, as well as Donovan. He stayed pretty much isolated on the left side at this point the first 10, 11 minutes. Now that's got to change. They need more interchanging and moving the ball faster in the midfield.
The only action we've seen from that front three is Carlos Ruiz drawing the flag from the referee's assistant. They have not been a factor thus far. Still early days. Kimura. Gavin, he's offside now.
They actually had 3 players peeling away, trying to separate from the back. Every time the ball has come around relayed from one side to the other, though, I've been watching Ruiz, and his movement and mobility and his vision and that eye contact with the midfielders has been very good. You can see his sharpness. That's really their main target. Now you get those second runners like Eli Allen coming off, and the last time Pete Vainas got into the area.
.26 years of age, Kundul, such a bright future, and Colorado very happy to have him. Some great keepers have come through the doors here in Denver. And it's over the head of Vanni. He misjudged it. Pressure here applied by Cook. Xavier will concede the first corner kick for the Rapids.
Again, big pressure from Colorado. You see 4 players right there on the transition that are really pushing LA back on their heels, and they're getting the support from the midfielders, just like we were talking about from the onset.
Played in by Cook, gets to the far post, and a great opportunity for Stephen Keel.
And he actually scored a goal the other day against Chicago, the same way. So they like to get him. He's very similar to Petke, Mike Petke, who plays in the central defense for Colorado. Good opportunity.
Mike Petke, one of several players unavailable for Fernando Clavijo that include Ugo Ihemelu. Petke and Ihemelu normally the central back tandem. Connor Casey, Mehdi Bellucci, Jovan Karofsky, Nico Colaluca. Rafael Gomez warmed up before the new Brazilian signing. Not in the starting 11, nor is he he is on the reserves bench, pardon me. Pablo Mastroeni joins him. He's not fully fit either. Cummings. Out of the reach. Donovan tries to spring on that one, but Erpen's there first.
Just a little
offside on La Broca. All right, let's send it down to Brian Dunseth.
Hey guys, keep an eye out on Colorado. They're starting their defensive pressure at the midfield stripe, really forcing LA Galaxy to beat them through the midfield. We've seen a lot of turnovers in that middle section between Di Raimondo and Nick LaBrocca, but you can hear Fernando Clavijo always saying, make them beat you, guys.
Thanks, Brian. Di Raimondo, his first MLS appearance, a fixture on that 2007 undefeated Rapids Reserve Championship side. Talk about that and the great job that John Murphy did.
I think one of the things that we're seeing, just that comment right there from Brian as well in the midfield, is that where Colorado has really found the success have been in the wide points. Terry Cook, Colin Clark, they've been able to open up, and that allows those functional midfielders to bypass the midfield stripe and get the ball into the feet of Christian Gomez. They haven't, both LaBrocca and Di Raimondo haven't really controlled the midfield moving the ball, but they've done a good job holding up in that space. So I think it's because of the wide players they've done so well, but they're pushing very high. They're getting Gomez right behind Cummings, and that's putting pressure on LA.
Free kick here, and it will be Di Raimondo. Just 21, lobs it over the head of Stephen Keel. Goal kick for Cronin. Well, Tuesday the Champions Cup semifinals kick off. 2 MLS sides remain. One of them is DC United. They will begin the first leg at Pachuca. You can see it at 10 p.m. Eastern time, live, right here on FSC.
That's a great job from Colin Clark, tracking back, recovering the ball, just making that extra 10-yard sprint to put on the pressure after Beckham had made that combination.
Vanni filling it. Pires gets the free kick. Quarter of an hour behind us. Colorado in front, the goal by Terry Cook. Well, there is Ruud Gullit, Christopher, a guy you get starstruck when we meet with him several times. A tremendous cerebral soccer player and manager.
That was an incredible athlete, a great player in the 80s, played with a big Milan team that played under Arrigo Sacchi. But when you talk to him and you sit down, he doesn't like to talk about individuals. It's all about the collective, and I think that's the concept and the essence of football. So he's starting to slowly transform this team, but it takes a while. It's a work in progress.
This is the 4th club he has coached. Most notably Chelsea, Newcastle United in the Premiership, also a stint with Feyenoord in his native Holland. Burciaga Jr. like the pinball through the machine. Finding space, didn't miss by a lot.
Well, there's a good attack here from Colorado. You see Erpin, he plays it into the central midfield right there. It looked like it was going to be recovered from LA, but Burciaga reacted more quickly than the forwards, got into the area, just bypasses 2 Galaxy midfielders right here and strikes from distance.
Christopher, a lot has been made of this front 3 for LA, but in order for them to be effective, the midfield and the defense have to get them possession. It hasn't really worked in these early minutes as a cohesive unit, which is obviously something that Ruud Gullit has been preaching.
Well, I think you're right, but that's when you need the personality and the leadership of an orchestrator to come in to the midfield, and that, for me, is Pete Vagenas and Alvaro Pires. They need to come get a hold of the ball and make themselves available, and they've had difficult time against the 2 aggressive young midfielders from Colorado.
Gavin, he'll try to cross one in. Not a bad effort looking for Ruiz. He hems in Burciaga Jr. Will give Klein a chance. They're trying to set up Beckham. They've done it here. Onside. Beckham.
Really the first occasion where you see Klein and Beckham in the right area. Look how quickly they're countering back. You got 4 players from the Galaxy. This is smart from Colorado. Good ball.
Christian Gomez, the 2006 MVP. Hard to imagine he'll get into the voting in 08, but so far so good. Through the legs of Gavin via Terry Cook. Vanni comes to help. Best opportunity for LA thus far on that Beckham cross.
Yeah, now they're slowing it down. They're going to try to slow the game down a little, get control of the rhythm, because they've been pushed back. Actually, I like every time that Cummings is moving to make himself available, Gomez is very close to him. So they have 3 or 4 or 5 players all in the neighborhood.
Gavin off the back of Allen.
And that's just the being on the same page, that understanding. You see Allen doesn't really know exactly what Gavin wants to do. Donovan's making himself available wide, and he decides to look for Ruiz.
Ruiz pestering Kandul.
At these points in the match, when you want to change the tempo, players like Beckham, you can't stay out wide. He's got to come into the midfield and look for the ball and try to stimulate the attack of LA. Just get other players into the play, start moving it quickly and changing the game, pulling people with him, get Donovan into the play as well.
Pires. Malik Xavier. Plenty of space for Vanni. Donovan. Trying to sneak that in behind Kimura for Gavin. LaBroca. Opening day of Major League Soccer. First kick 2008. One hop into Kandul. Earlier we saw New England victorious, Columbus victorious earlier today, Real Salt Lake, Chicago in a highly entertaining 1-1 result.
But this is better right here. You see a different variation. Beckham coming deeper in the midfield, looking for a deeper cross in behind. Donovan's there, Ruiz. Try to mix it up, get some variation into the play.
Di Ramondo. Xavier. Turned by Klein, trying to squeeze it on that far sideline towards Becker. Doesn't work out there.
And he had two other options, but sometimes it calls your attention when you see Beckham really take off hard with a meaningful run. The idea was good.
Eli Allen. About 5 rookies that featured in the preseason, all of which made the squad. What is he forcing to use these younger players because of the limitations with the salary cap that Major League Soccer have, but he's been impressed with them. I think out of all of them, when we talked to him, Brandon McDonald, the rookie out of University of San Francisco, I think's his favorite. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but he usually mentions him first.
Yeah, Pete Vagenas has the experience, but say that's a player that's coming up that they think can challenge for that position right in the central of the park. But he still has his eye on some other players and other acquisitions. He said he wants to try to work with what he has here and then address that issue at that point.
Still early days in the Galaxy season. Alvaro Pires. 5 players just signed on the final days, added to this roster.
That's a nice little surge, a quick acceleration out of the deep midfield from Pires to take the pressure off the wide players from LA. And now you have Beckham. He's got that incredible placement and service. Big opportunity for LA.
We did the U.S. national team in the midweek, and you said how important set pieces are. That goes without mentioning for this Galaxy side. This is really their first opportunity 23 minutes in. He is a master. The more chances, the better, obviously. Doesn't like the wall. Referee's assistant says it's okay. Lifts it over the wall, straight to Kundul. Intending it perhaps for the charging Chris Klein. Big throw by Kundul, looking for Cook. Flips into Christian Gomez. He's got Cummings and Colin Clark wide open. They get in each other's way, though. Kundul into the corner. Interesting decision here. As the referee's assistant on the far side. It will be a throw. Kimura, Japanese player, went to Western Illinois. That's the tie-in to Major League Soccer and allowing it to facilitate him to become a professional here.
We see Fernando Clavijo. He's been up off the bench the whole time. And the bad news is the lack of communication between the two players. The good news is that there's not just one forward that's isolated when they're attacking, making those movements to go. Colorado has done really well in transition, getting several players into the area. And they have to continue. You can't lay off and take your foot off the pedal.
Colorado recently have had the Galaxy's number, and particularly here. All time, the Galaxy have won 24 of the 47 meetings. They will meet 3 times this season. And the only time they will be coming here to Commerce City, here in the opener. Vagenas. Pete, who's been with LA since 2000. Really the glue of this franchise over the years, which has had so much turnover.
I think collectively LA is playing reactive football. They're not thinking as a team 2-3 steps ahead when they're moving the ball. You see a lot of players without movement. You're not seeing the players putting themselves in position to have multiple options on the ball. And it's just kind of very slow. They need to be quicker. They need that acceleration in their play collectively.
It certainly is slow. We'll see if they can get into the rhythm. Usually at high altitude, it goes the other way around, though. Burciaga Jr. Christian Gomez. Because of all the new signings at DC United, so many clubs are trying to get Gomez's signature. Colorado to consider themselves pretty fortunate to have been the team to get it. He's a difference maker. That ball from Donovan to Ruiz. The late tackle by Di Ramondo.
Pretty fortunate for LA, but good idea from Donovan just to keep them going straight up the axe of the field. You see a nice little quick combination. This was better from LA, the way they moved the ball out of the defense.
Very fortunate. That was all ball from Di Ramondo. Maybe a bit too far out for Beckham's liking, but a set piece nonetheless. See what they can devise here. Quickly taken for Donovan. Kundul. He is bristling right now. Bouna Kondoul, he's picking off everything that comes his way. Little craftiness from Beckham. David Robert Joseph Beckham. Allen. Born in Anchorage, Alaska. I wonder if that's on the MLS shortlist for expansion teams. Another free kick. Maybe they're tilting things in their favor now.
He's starting to move. He's trying to get the reaction, but look at Cummings. I mean, he's playing the point player up top, but he's moving from side to side, running, looking for the ball, making himself available, tracking down people, and that's been very difficult. Keep an eye on Xavier here. He makes those runs, those hard runs, right into the heart of the area.
Beckham digs in, falls in front. Donovan gets his knee to it. It's still in play. Kondoul collects it in front of Allen. And Kiel does a little enforcing for the Galaxy rookie.
Yeah, when you look at the flight of this ball from Beckham, just the trajectory, it becomes difficult. Even if Colorado has the right positioning in the area, it comes through. You always get a skip, so it's important to be at that back post. Big opportunity for Donovan.
And another free kick. So maybe the machinations are in effect here for the Galaxy as they creep closer and start to put Kondoul into work. Steve Cronin at the other end has only faced that one shot. It got through.
Well, they're finding success against, testing that back four of Colorado, playing into the feet of the forwards, checking back. And they continue to do that.
Beckham had a few chances. It's time for Ruiz. Poked away. It'll be the first corner kick for LA. It looked like Erpen was the man.
And you see Ruiz, he saw the toe touch right there, and he knew he was in the right position. Great placement again from Beckham. He had beaten 4 players from Colorado. Ruiz made a good run at the back post, and Donovan's been providing excellent service with the national team the other day.
2 assists in the U.S. 3-0 victory. Goes to the far post. Remember, Donovan took all these set pieces for the Galaxy until the arrival of Beckham. It was certainly nice with his talent to get him involved. Bouna Kondoul learning as the apprentice briefly for Joe Cannon, who was here before he moved on to the Galaxy. So many tie-ins between these two teams. The director of soccer for LA, one of the 3 numbers retired here at Colorado, Paul Bravo. See the pace of Cummings as he challenged Greg Vanney. Another guy with that Colorado LA connection. Only 9 appearances for the Rapids. He spent 96 to 2001 as a member of the Galaxy before returning for 08. Gavin taps that one out. Another throw here. Terry Cook. As a second ball slips out onto the pitch. That's the whistle. Was inadvertently hit in by Fernando Clavijo, who apologized quickly to the 4th official.
Yeah, you see Clavijo, he's up on his technical area. He's giving indications because they only have to worry about Ruiz in the breakout. LA's all the way back as a team. They're going to, here, a goal kick. But he's pushing up 2 or 3 in the midfield into the final third, really to try to lock them in on these opportunities and capitalize.
Three meetings last year between these two sides. Colorado won 2 of them. Galaxy did get a little semblance of revenge when they played at the Home Depot Center. Just too long for Beckham off the foot of Pete Vagenas.
And they're trying to incorporate Beckham, get him into the play. The same thing with Donovan. Sometimes at this point, Max, this is when you switch Eli Allen, you put him out to the left side. Just get Donovan free in the midfield, moving from side to side, getting touches on the ball, pulling players into him, and opening up things with his quick release.
Tapped away by Allen. Vagenas put his foot on the pedal there as the Rapids defense collapsed on him.
He's better.
And it's onside to Beckham. Looking for a target. Finds Ruiz. Off the head of Erpen. He kept it in play. Throw in for the Galaxy. Playing much better than how they started. Half an hour behind us. The Rapids still in front. The goal by Terry Cook. Those crosses from Beckham right there.
Right. But again, it comes from the feet of Pete Vagenas to open it up. Those central midfielders for LA are so important, moving the ball from side to side. That's why Andrea Pirlo is considered one of the best deep-lying midfielders in the world, because he keeps the ball moving, gets the other players into play. Nice movement.
Vagenas back to goal. Klein, who's as advanced as he has been. Beckham fills his spot almost as a right back. Lobs it towards Gavin. Got right underneath it. Didn't have much leverage. It will be a Bouna Kandul goal kick. Winning the battle of territory. That Beckham ball got away from. Rare misjudged ball intended for Donovan.
Yeah, but quicker movement, a little combination, better interchanging. You got 3 men coming into the middle. They flick it off to Beckham, and he's looking for Donovan getting into the final third. That type of movement is better. Now the recovery, that's the question. They've already backed up less than 2/3 of the field, and that's allowing Colorado kind of to play on their terms out of the back without being pressured.
Erpen playing it to Terry Cook. Gavin gets there first, hits it to Cronin. It'll stay in play for Donovan, played by Kimura. He's had a nice opening here at right back. LaBroca. Vagenas. Vanny. Xavier. They're just like his coach with World Cup experience and a couple of his teammates. Vanny. Vagenas. In the build up with those short passes, compactness.
You can see, yeah, you can see, excuse me, Max, you can see that Vagenas wanted to zip the ball into the feet of Donovan, played it a couple feet off the ground and wasn't able to control it right there. But let's see what happens here.
Route 1, over the head of Donovan. Ruiz nestles underneath it. Kimura there. Ruiz. Tremendous couple saves by Kandul as the Galaxy had 2 runners going full throttle.
Well, again, we talked about it before. These balls from Beckham, look how deep he is. He came into the middle. Now he's orchestrated, opening up the play. You get the run from Donovan and Ruiz. Donovan just looks for the toe poke. Ruiz comes back, tries to mix things up right in between the defender and the keeper. Bouna Kandul did well to hold on.
Tremendous service from Beckham. You see Kandul spilt it there, but those long arms.
And we talked about at the top of the show, Erpen and Keel, even though they read the play extremely well, they know how to intervene, they know how to anticipate. The most difficult thing for central defenders is running backwards when you got players coming at you, fast players, and that's where I think LA needs to make that little change. They can get a better impact in offense with these type of balls that we just saw.
Desperate defending there by Colorado, but they really made it difficult for Donovan and Ruiz to get a good vision of that ball as Kandul remains on the deck receiving attention right now. Again, we cannot emphasize it enough that the Rapids are playing without Petke and Ihemelu. And a little blood there in the mouth of Kandul. He is backed up by Justin Hughes, but I would be shocked if he doesn't continue. Hopefully all the teeth, looks like he bit his tongue. Hopefully all the teeth are accounted for, I should say. Usually the rule of thumb, the field players have to step off the pitch and be reintroduced after something like this. Not so for the goalkeepers.
We're starting to see the last 5-10 minutes of the Galaxy are starting to pick up their movements through the defense, and the midfield is still not the pace, the tempo that you're looking for, that we saw when they were playing in Asia. I thought they had great fluidity, playing from the defense, thoughtfulness, playing out of the back, in through the midfield. And so they just need a little bit more zip in the way that they're moving, interchanging, combining, and speeding up the play in the middle.
Galaxy technically lost a couple games on that Asian tour, but those were both in penalties, which they may not have required. By the way, Kandula has been outstanding thus far. You get to taste your own blood. That's only going to make you even harder to beat, I would imagine. Back to the action. LA getting the back four involved here. At times, flipping Beckham with Klein. Flat ball towards Eli Allen from Beckham. One in the midfield by Di Ramondo.
Good transition here from Colorado.
Gomez. Cummings held his run and the flag is down. Omar Cummings for Clark. Almost snuck it in. If not for that little touch by Vanny, I don't think they were aware of the hard-charging Colin Clark.
And this is a fantastic attack. Out of transition very quickly. Clark made a 45-yard run all the way around. First he recovered it. Good work and balance from Colorado in the midfield. They're playing on both sides of the ball very quickly with good reaction.
Clark obviously feeling he got a corner kick. I thought he would have gotten one as well. Galaxy put their foot on the throttle the other way. Beckham, Vinas, Vanny. New era for LA Soccer. Gavin gets a lovely ball in for Ruiz, but he's offside again.
Yeah, pretty close right there. The movement's good. That little short diagonal in between the two central defenders. Great ball from Gavin. And that one from Ruiz, you can see what he wanted to do. He just wanted to caress it down and look to slot it with his left foot. That one maybe should have been a first-time volley. You see the shade of the grass. He's just a touch off.
Yeah, real unlucky, but by the letter of the law, he is offside. Michael Gavin, the first-round supplemental pick, looking very confident, looking like he belongs, wise beyond his years. Christian Gomez back to goal for Siaga Jr. The Texan trying to get it to Cook. Gavin gets there, not a bad option with Terry Cook lurking behind you to just play it out, even if it's for a corner kick.
Again, good work from Colorado. They're playing with 3-4 up top in these offensive attacks going forward.
Good lift up by Cook, maybe missed time of the jump by Erpen. Urciaga Jr. Got a corner kick at the other end.
If you're Colorado, if you're Fernando Clavijo, this is how you want to go in at halftime. You want to push David Beckham back in his own area where he has to defend. They only have Carlos Ruiz. He's covered right now by two players. All the momentum swinging for Colorado. Excellent ball.
Perez is Colorado threatening. Donovan tried to turn without the ball. Stopped by LaBroca. And just lopped over, putting Cronin to work. Corner kick. It's been rapid-fire corners here for the Rapids.
This is why Christian Gomez is one of the most lethal players in Major League Soccer. When he gets into the area, he's always got an eye on the goal. Look at this, a good vision. He sees the keeper's about 4 or 5 yards off. Cronin does well to react, but great strike from Christian Gomez.
Cook, another nice ball. Alvaro Perez. Perez, who was playing in Russia most recently. Started with a famed Brazilian club, the pride of Porto Alegre Internacional, who won that FIFA Club World Cup just a couple seasons ago. Speaking of the FIFA Club World Cup, you'll be able to see if DC United or Houston can represent CONCACAF. I think one of them might here in 2008.
It's a great tournament.
What an opportunity that would be. Vanny. And I'd pressure the powers that would be, and I know they're listening to maybe sending us to Japan, my friend, for that one.
There's a better response right now from Galaxy. He's starting to get the central defenders into the attack.
Beckham took a little speed off that, laid it perfectly for Vanny. He overran it. Cummings, though, offside. Otherwise, it could have been perilous for LA, shorthanded defensively.
Yeah, but that's what you want from your forward. Your point forward playing in a 4-5-1 that transforms into 4-3-3. You want him moving on that back line, looking for that breaking, separating run to get around from the defenders. That's what Joseph Nguyen did so well. And that's what Samuel Eto'o does so well for Barcelona. And Cummins has done a good job. I'm very impressed with how he's opened up the space for Gomez and the other midfielders.
Beckham's ball short for Alvaro Pires. This Nick LaBroca, hard as nails in that midfield, going after everything and not bending whatsoever. The Staten Island native. Just like General Manager Alexi Lalas went to Rutgers. His first MLS start. Quite a thrill for him, I'm sure. Kimura. There's Gavin. Gavin's been maybe the bright spot for LA in a somewhat disappointing first half, which has gotten better as it's progressed along for them. Still trailing here, thanks to the Terry Cook goal as we're into the final 5 minutes.
Beautiful combination idea from Christian Gomez. He makes a slanted run back into Burciaga Jr. and just releases LaBronca into the area. A little bit off.
Alvaro. Klein. Beckham once again gets in that deep position.
You see, LaBroca is getting high as well. He stays deep, but you know, they said that Di Raimundo was going to shadow. He's getting back now on Donovan. He's been, anytime Donovan comes in the central area, he's with him.
That's out of play, last touch by Erpen. Looking to finish this first half with a flourish. The Galaxy. Vainas. The archetype support player. Flat ball for Fanny. It's out of his reach. Watch out for the counterattack. Clark finally collects himself. Cummings has Gomez to his left. He's going to take it on himself. And he's opened up a world of possibilities here. Terry Cook. Cook to the byline. Gavin not giving him an inch. LaBroca is going to get a free kick. Got in underneath.
And I think that's deserved. You see Fernando Clavillo, again, he needed that one to slow down the tempo a little bit, keep the momentum. This is a great little run. Nice ball. You see the angle, how he orientates his body to get it in the slot, put him in a good position, and a big opportunity again for Colorado.
Burciaga Jr. and Terry Cook.
We see Kiel is just alone, one-on-one with Xavier. You see what type of run he makes from that back part.
Cook gets some nice lift away by Vainas.
Need that further back.
Terry Cook, the first good British import here, followed by Beckham. Kenny Juker at Real Salt Lake came over from Gretna. He's another guy. Word late is that Real Salt Lake, after Gretna folded their tents, unfortunately, because of their finances, their former captain, Chris Innes, is drawing interest from the Red Bulls. Obviously great to have another Gretna player over here. And you Gretna supporters, if you don't have a team and you want one, you got Real Salt Lake and maybe the Red Bulls to support in the future. Quite tragic what happened to the Scottish club. Hopefully it ends okay, at least for the players, as they look for a club somewhere. Here is Cronin, the Sacramento native, pardon. And Ruiz gets a bump, clash of heads. Erpen saying it was an elbow from Ruiz.
Those are two similar players, the characteristics. When the ball's in the air, both of them fight. They like the positioning. Erpen is a perfect player to put on Ruiz. Look at Ruiz, how he sticks his arm out and just feels intuitively where the central defender is. Good work.
Beckham, final minute, lobs it in, redirected Pires, Donovan, Kiel at the doorstep, but the flag is up again. It has been the thorn in the side.
No, they don't. You see Donovan, he's looking at the assistant referee along with Ruiz and Eli Allen. This is the quick transition on the restart. Smart from Colorado.
It probably came on that header, on that second touch. Route one, LaBroca. And Abel Xavier puts out the fire big time. Clean tackle on LaBroca.
Now he's talking to Cronin to say, make sure you're off your line. And he has to keep that balance because LA is really moving out those back four.
Back in again, Cummings. Look at that clearance, goes right to the feet of Donovan. Hasn't had a chance to stretch the legs out, but he'll take this opportunity. Gets by one, now gets by Keel. One more touch, Boona time.
This is what LA has been missing, those explosive accelerations out of the deep midfield from Landon Donovan, where he just changes the tempo, opens up the field, brings other players into the area. Big opportunity for LA here with Beckham.
Once again, jet lag and everything else that comes with it, obviously affecting Donovan and Beckham. Kandul gets his fist to that one. Knocked out by Clark, back in by Donovan. And all the way out to Gavin. Everyone needs to take that step back on side. Gavin. Nice ball again by the rookie, straight to Beckham. Flicks it in for Klein, back out to Beckham. Slices one in for Ruiz. May have been going to goal.
He's trying to influence the ref to get that in to be a corner kick. Another good ball from Beckham. Nice little combination on the right side right here. Changes the rhythm, picks his head up, but rather than striking, he's looking for Ruiz every time at the back post. It's just 2 or 3 feet above the zone where he can get around and orientate his body and strike that at the far post.
Well, that is just sensational from Beckham. He left it there inch perfect to the feet of Ruiz, who while coming through clipped Kandul, clearly with no intention there. Right. He was going straight to goal, but Boona went to his knees again, is claiming that Ruiz went after him.
At one point, if you're looking at, you could think that that's a little bit too high for Ruiz at the back post, but he's accustomed to playing with guys like Van Nistelrooy that actually step in front of the keeper and get their head in that position.
Good point. Boona Kandul has gone through it all. Battered and bruised after 45 minutes. Bloodied as well, we should say. But his team are in front, but he had to come up big. second half certainly should better than the first half, which lacked that fire and pace certainly from both teams, although the Colorado Rapids have to be happy with getting the goal and applying that pressure to Steve Cronin. We mentioned Ruud Gullit wasn't too excited on the sideline with what he saw, and there's a couple new faces in the lineup that he hoped, and then we'll see if they can do it, can change the fortunes here. At least the tempo rising for this Galaxy squad.
I agree. And then also the back four from the Galaxy will have to start pushing this team in attack. They can't just sit back and play out loosely. They need to speed up the tempo of coming through the middle of the field. We've already seen Brandon McDonald come in. He's playing for Pete Vallanes. And this is the player, I talked to Paul Bravo, the director of football of soccer for the Galaxy, and he's very big on this player. He said he's from USF. He has all the attributes you need from a player in the center of the park.
He's Ruud's golden boy. As I said, I've talked to him a couple times about the rookies. Brandon McDonald was the name first off his lips. Even though Gavin and Eli Allen started, Brandon McDonald is a guy he has high hopes for. Also coming to the match, Alan Gordon. So they're playing with two strikers. Greg Vanney has been pulled. No, Greg Vanney's still out there. We'll let you know exactly the new formation. Eli Allen's the player that's pulled out. Thank you, Christopher.
Well, we've saw Galaxy have come out. They're keeping their lines together. They're trying to move the ball, but that little response and reaction in the midfield from Colorado has been good. The two functional midfields, LaBroca and also Di Raimundo, have done extremely well facilitating the movement of the ball, getting into the feet of Christian Gomez. And the wide players as well. You've seen Colin Clark that's made vertical runs, the diagonal balls into Cummings, who has been moving with a great mobility and making it difficult for the two central defenders from LA. Nice combination.
Kiel, been pretty robust in the first half. That one off the side of the boot. Looks like it'll be to throw in only.
And you see, there's really no need, but he's thinking he could hear Ruiz behind him in the area, so he doesn't want to take the chance and try to play secure and give the ball back to LA.
Kiel, by the way, from the footballing factory, Wake Forest. Gavin slips into the 18, keeps his feet, and almost got a corner kick. Goal kick instead for Kandul, who went through the ringer the first half, but kept the sheets clean, or a sheet clean in this case. Early days, half number 2, Rapids looking for a winning start, as they did when they opened Dick's Sporting Goods Park, defeating DC United in the league opener. Ruiz, now joined by Gordon, who is a better target player in that area. There is number 21, had a couple of goals in the tour of the Far East. Gave quite a thrill to the crowd with his celebrations. One Karate Kid Ralph Macchio celebration. Driven in by Cook.
Has much better football. You can see Christian Gomez starting to find his rhythm. He's making the little nice, exquisite touches, bringing other players. LaBroca has done well, pointing him out, getting the ball to his feet quickly, and they're advancing well from Colorado, breaking out of the midfield. You see the tempo is starting to pick up in the second half on both sides.
Brandon McDonald, comb over header towards Ruiz. Plenty of space for Donovan, and a nice first touch. Doesn't have all too many options. Gavin's looking to get involved. He'll get the ball out wide. Gordon holds his run. Donovan up the left. Gavin hits it right in to Kimura. No changes for the Rapids at the half. Well off his line is Cronin as he cradles it in front of Cummings. Alvaro Pires. Gavin. Ball back to the midfield. Alvaro Pires to McDonald. He's got a nice big frame on him. Got trapped in the spokes, losing it to LaBroca. Now Gordon. Lovely stuff from Donovan to the midfield. McDonald shakes a defender. Beckham. Overlap Klein. Uses Klein as a decoy, now plays him onside. Chips it in, Kiel away. Christian Gomez and Gordon, back pocket. Just a yellow card, but it was pretty gruesome. First booking of the match.
And you see the ball's already been played. Gomez has those quick feet, and he does what they call the half rhythm. The ball comes off the ground, it's already gone. When the player stretches out on defense, put himself in a good position. There's one player they want to make sure that doesn't stay down, that can get back up. He's so good with both feet, has a perfect mobility and equilibrium. I mean, you see that he's starting to come to life a little bit in the second half, and I give a lot of credit to those two young gladiators in the midfield, Labroca and Di Raimondo. Pablo Mastroeni, before the game, couldn't make it. He was sick. Fernando Clavijo got the call on the way to the stadium. You know, and he's making the most out of this team, squeezing the lemon, getting the most out of these players, playing with a good energy, intensity, trying to move the ball the right way, trying to get into attack. It's not easy to play against Landon Donovan and Beckham, but I think the last occasion we saw with Beckham on the right side where he was waiting for Klein to get around, he wasn't really taking a view of the whole left field. There were 4 players getting in the area. So I think he's got to step up his game.
Ruiz held by Keel. Clark. Saw Brandon McDonald, just 22 years of age. 46th pick in the MLS Super Draft. And if you're the 46th pick and you stick on a roster, you're ahead of the curve. As we see Omar Cummings. Ankle injury this season, part of that long list of players that are injured. And certainly we saw Christian Gomez on the ground there. I'm sure Fernando Clavijo was anticipating the worst, the way things have gone for him so far. Alvaro Pires. Quick touch. Donovan. Gordon. Trying to stretch out the play to Beckham. Klein was neither here nor there. Clark steps in. Meanders around Klein. Support from behind. Labroca.
Great ball.
Gets it out wide to Terry Cook. Looping ball for Cummings.
He's trying to adjust his run as he's coming in at a hard angle, and the ball is just really swerving. Beckham came back looking for the ball, not on the same page. Cronin, he apologizes.
Burciaga Jr., Klein beaten again. That one to the far post, hit out by Gavin. Corner kick.
And one of the things that Fernando Clavijo had told me before, he said, we like that matchup, Colin Clark, Burciaga Jr. against Klein. Klein is a long-time midfielder in the league, and they've played him out of the back because he's just good work rate on both sides of the ball. But now they're starting to exploit that area and find success.
Quite a contrast in the defenses. Colorado, no one over the age of 26. For the LA Galaxy, Galaxy, old in the tooth to say the least. Chris Klein, 32 and 265 MLS appearances. Abel Xavier's 35. Greg Vanney, almost 250 appearances at the age of 33. So speed is not on their side.
We see early on, McDonald has done a good job adding a little bit of bite in the midfield. Some hard tackles. He's been called a few times, but he's won some battles in the air as well. So he's given his print in the midfield of winning the ball and forcing Colorado a little bit back. Now they need someone to run into that space, and it should be Donovan or Beckham.
Gordon. Gavin, couple targets. Ruiz, Gordon, and Beckham joining him late.
That's a better movement and release ball from Donovan right there. He's coming at a different angle, opening. You're getting a more synchronized movement on the outside from Gavin and a quicker pass released out of the back 4. That's what the Galaxy need to do in the second half. They got to speed up and accelerate the play when they're moving through the midfield.
Gordon back to goal. Keel behind him. Lovely Stavlobroga out to Terry Cook. Cummings onside, trying to maneuver around Abel Xavier.
And this time he's alone. You see when a player is isolated, he doesn't have that support. Gomez is not close. Colin Clark is not close. Then it's a little bit more difficult for him.
Lofted towards Donovan, out of the reach off the foot of Chris Klein. Braca. Kimura, pardon me. New faces that are going to be hard to knock off this starting 11 based on the result that they are obtaining thus far.
And we're starting to see Beckham. He's coming more central in the midfield. They need to get the ball to Beckham's feet. He can change the game. He could speed up the game. He can open up the game with his precision from that wide position. Now you see he's starting to solicit and look for the ball more.
Beckham towards Klein. Won't be able to catch up with that. Keel. Marginal pressure from Ruiz. Burciaga Jr. Over the head and out of play. Let's send it down to Brian Dunseth.
Hey guys, I had a conversation with John Murphy right after halftime. He said for the first 15 minutes, the key is to really absorb the pressure from the LA Galaxy. They feel like about 30 minutes in, the team's really going to open up. They're going to find a lot more space. They really feel like they're controlling the midfield battles. Christopher, you just made a great point about Brandon McDonald getting stuck in the midfield. That's where Kobe Jones from the LA Galaxy said that LA Galaxy are losing their bite in the midfield. They need someone to control, step in, and really fire up the midfield. Guys?
Thank you, Brian. Donovan almost getting it through to Gordon, instead intercepted by Erpen. Of course, John Murphy, the man that Brian spoke to, the architect of the reserve division for Colorado, which has been the best far and away since they've developed a reserve division. Ruiz draws the flag.
Good run from Ruiz. The pass wasn't there on time, but he's been one of the bright spots with the way his sharpness of his movement, and he's anticipating to open up that back four. There haven't been much of that from the central. I think that LA has also been kind of stagnant because their top players are in wide positions. You need that interchanging. You need the midfielders to come and win the ball and bring them into the play.
For a moment, David Beckham bent over, maybe a little bit of discomfort. He does come to the midfield to win that in front of Christian Gomez. Leaves it back for Abel Xavier. Vanny's going to play Beckham. Ball is on Song. No look pass to Gordon. Looking for the right combinations, finding something that work is key for LA, but the second half has provided very little. Gomez. Argentina versus Brazil as he goes after Alvaro Pires. Terry Cook, Cummings and Clark coming into the area. Driven into Cummings, he controls it near post. Abel Xavier taps it away. Penalty! Abby Okulaja has given the penalty, and, well, from our position, and we're far away, didn't look like one.
Yeah, you see Ruud Gullit, he can't believe that. We'll have to take a look at it again. The breakout was great, sensational. Quick in transition, you had the wide run from Cook. He kept the opening the wide point. Here's just the argument, it's already been made. And Christian Gomez made a 40-yard run to the back post. You see Gullit is saying we can't even buy any luck at this point. But give credit to the midfield of Colorado, how they broke out and opened up the play.
Omar Cummings popped to his feet as if there was nothing. Okulaja, no hesitation. He said it with conviction. And sometimes the faces of the players, granted, no one thinks they've ever committed a penalty, but sometimes the faces on the players are very telling. And Abel Xavier's face is doing just that.
Xavier, I mean, it looked like he came from behind, but it didn't look like he really clipped him. You've seen this a million times, the same pattern of movement where the forward gets to the near post, he takes a technical touch to the outside, and then he slips and loses his balance.
Ruud Gullit from the sidelines looked at his players and said, put it behind you. We've got to move forward, although he's still got an eye on the sideline, on the replay. Okay, a chance to get that safety cushion for Christian Gomez. 59th minute, just short of the hour mark here. Steve Cronin, baptism under fire, but Gomez converts. 2-0 Rapids. And the arguments towards Okulaja continue.
Well, this is a fantastic way to debut. Gomez has definitely picked up the second half. It's a big goal. And we see Clavijo and Gullit, they're talking right now and discussing what happened. You see the approach, very fluid in the way that he came, struck it low, excellent precision, big goal for Colorado.
Ruud Gullit has not let it go. He's still upset, and you mentioned how he and Clavijo met. Clavijo almost there to try and calm him down, not to be confrontational. And now the Galaxy 2 goals to make up and really haven't looked close to scoring that one goal, to be honest.
Well, Clavijo's been on the other side, and I think that he knows that you just got to get on with it. This is going to happen in these type of matches, whether that was a penalty or not. It's about the response and the reaction from LA. We saw some signs now where they're trying to find Beckham, and he's trying to stimulate the attack a little more. Donovan's getting in more positive positions, but that's what you really look for at this point.
An inexperienced defense has put the traps all over LA, but now onside. Gordon can't convert. Bouna Koundoul, as he did so many times in the first half, stoning LA.
You're exactly right, Max. That is a fantastic reaction. The way he came out, he was like a cat, got down so low, made himself big presence. And you see Gordon, he's hobbling right now. He can't believe how quickly Koundoul came out.
Heel may have stopped it before it even got to Koundoul, so defending in numbers paying off for this young, inexperienced Rapids defense.
But give credit to Pires. He made a fantastic ball to enter him into the area.
LaRocca. Cook onside. Cummings to put it out of reach. One move too many. Back to Cook. Loses Gavin. Kimura brought down Alvaro Pires, the guilty party.
He just ran into a wall and got clipped right into Vanny. He's making a slalom, just cuts right back in between 2-3 players. Vanny comes right through him, and you could hear it. That was the first time we heard the crowd really show some emotion.
It's a good point. Although a sellout here, not the most engrossing support we've had from the Rapids fans, despite their team up 2-0. Hopefully that'll change in these final half hour. Jose Burciaga Jr. The free kick here. Over the head of Clark, out of play, goal kick. Goals by Cook and Gomez. Gordon. Burciaga Jr. preventing Beckham from getting in touch. Gordon lost play there.
One of the things that I'm really surprised with, Max, is actually the back four of LA, how easily Colorado has been able to break the trap. Wide, in the middle. The timing has just been off, the synchronization of those back four. I know when we talked to Hulit, said through the Asian tour and when they played in Dallas, they've been solid, they've been intact, they've had the chemistry and they've worked together. But you see, they keep going to this right side of Colorado. They've had so much success, and they're starting to open it up more and more.
Lovely flick by Ruiz to Donovan. Gordon needs to hold his run. Doesn't get to him. LaRocca.
And you're starting to see a little frustration on the face of Beckham. He's trying to make an impact in the second half and get a response out of his team. But just the movement of the ball from side to side hasn't been what you're familiar seeing, particularly with a team that Ruud Gullit would coach.
Galaxy are going to make their third substitution before Colorado makes even one. Troy Roberts up on the sideline. Hard to see the lights. I don't think they're working from the fourth official on the board. A little better. I think it's Gavin who's coming out, and he's on the far side, so needs to hustle on out.
And that's the side we were talking about. So he's got to make that adjustment because they're going to continue to push in the next 25 minutes in transition. You see, he's a young player. I mean, they know he's a good footballer. He's great on the ball, but his positional sense has been difficult for him tonight, particularly with the way that Colorado has broken out against LA.
Troy Roberts, the odd man out in that defense, maybe seeing a chance to get more playing time under the new regime. That ball stays in play for Donovan. Can't quite get around Kimura. This Japanese right back has been stellar. Beckham. Xavier. Well, smart play, back to Beckham, curls in the cross, straight to Kundu.
Look how quickly Colorado is back in transition. Again, you got to give credit. No foul called here against Gomez.
Probably should have been.
Yeah, but I mean, the quick transition, you got to give credit to Fernando Clavijo. He knows that the stars and the individual players that can change a game for LA are going forward. They're going to be in the final third. To really get at them and push them back on their heels, you got to be quick in transition.
So Chris Klein looking to become another attacker as the Galaxy play with three in the back. Di Raimondo. Cook. Finds some space. You hear the screams of Cookie from Cummings. He gets it here. Around Cronin. Yes! Omar Cummings picked up the penalty for goal 2. He gets the third to prevent any hopes of a comeback. 3-0 Rapids.
And this is just well orchestrated. Look at the numbers again. The wide side is off. He makes a great decision. He plays into the middle. Good timing. We talked about the runs of Cummings all day. He puts himself intuitively in a great position, knows when to break out, utilizes his speed. Nice little movement right here. Pauses, touches, separates himself with an acceleration. A great position just to slot it in.
Came up with 2 goals in 2007 in rookie season. He'll be replaced here by Herculez Gomez. Colorado protecting their turf. And the lasting sound, I guess I could say, on that goal is Terry Cook coming up. And you hear this, Cookie, 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 from Omar Cummins. He got it. He got the message.
Well, I think you're also going to see Fernando Clavijo on the sideline. He gives a big hug to Cummings, because to be that sole point and work for 67 minutes, that takes a lot of energy, a lot of capacity. Fantastic performance tonight.
Well, they slice through the remnants of the Galaxy defense. Donovan. First substitution for the Rapids. And another player with Galaxy ties. We heard Herculez saying his highlight of his career, anything about 2005, that was when he really exploded onto the scene and won 2 trophies with LA, the MLS Cup and the US Open Cup. Herculez gets a touch on the right, lifts it in. Cronin, maybe short on confidence right now, having to dig the ball out twice in the last few minutes of his own net. Roberts.
I think that's a part of football when you're chasing the game, particularly in the second half. You have altitude, you try to get into attack, but you leave yourself vulnerable in the back. It becomes complicated. And Hulit knows that better than anyone. You know, they're trying to do the right thing. I still think, in my opinion, that Beckham and Donovan need to come more central to change a game. You can't just stay out wide when you're not having the movement and interchanging and combination that you need.
And it's not happening in the middle.
And Beckham, you put him in the middle. He's played with Real Madrid. He knows how to do it. He knows how to make the short, little quick passes, the half-rhythm passes, bring other players through, and he's going to draw attention.
The Galaxy obviously were hoping to hit the ground running in week 1. Brandon McDonald will not get a corner kick. It goes the other way. Well, it wasn't to be. Let's remember that we can't expect Donovan and Beckham to be 100% based on the weeks they just had. You have a long trip there and back. Your first stop is a place where the Galaxy have historically had problems with altitude. Not to make any excuses, they can't be getting thumped like this. But obviously, to think that everything was going to spring up roses in week 1, very wishful thinking. 70th minute. The #1 pick for Colorado, Kieran O'Brien's about to enter the match.
this is also a great opportunity for Clavijo to introduce some young players to get into a game that's very open and they can play on their terms.
Christian Gomez, Clark. It seems like Colorado going at this defense at will right now.
You see, even with Beckham in the central midfield there, he's going to pick up a late foul here. Pires was dropped down, but you see Beckham, just those simple touches, he's thinking 2-3 steps ahead, but when you get him in the middle of the field, he releases other players to go out. And now we see he's taking that position.
O'Brien's going to be coming in for Christian Gomez. And on the Clavijo can feel safe that his team is going to get a victory on this day. You go back to the penalty. I didn't think it was a penalty. And the Galaxy clearly, from the coach to the keeper to the entire team, never recovered from it. Because their play since that second goal's been converted has taken a very drastic move south.
But you got to give credit to Colorado. It was a collective response, the way they came out in the second half. And this player right here, Christian Gomez, even though Clavijo said he has no defensive responsibilities, he always makes himself available, knows what to do in attack, made some nice touches today. Good performance.
Terry Cook gets the assist on the Cummings goal. So quite a nice little stat line for Cookie. Champions Cup is right here on Fox Soccer Channel. Wednesday, join us as the Houston Dynamo take on Saprissa of Costa Rica. 10 p.m. Eastern Time live, Wednesday, April the 2nd.
And it is a yellow as well. You see a little grabbing of the shirt. Beckham's coming back around.
Alvaro Pires maybe having the best second half of any of the Galaxy players. Almost got an assist if Gordon was able to convert on that.
We see Di Raimundo. One of the things, this player is quick, he's tough, he's got excellent technique, he attacks players, he comes into the space, he's fearless. And I think he's been an important, integral part of the midfield for Colorado just with his work rate.
Here's Gordon, pushes Keel. I think they were to give a free kick, but it's with the Rapids. Clark, Gomez, rugby tackle from Vanny.
This one,
was he the last player too? Yellow card for Greg Vanny.
we were just talking about Beckham a moment ago, thinking 2 steps ahead. Look at this, he knows, he could feel Vanny coming up. That's good creativity. And the ball in was fantastic.
It's too easy for the Rapids right now getting by this defense. Gomez, who, based on that 2005 season, actually got called up to the U.S. national team. This time run by Clark. Oh, Vanny, he's going to be in trouble there as he took a swipe at Kieran O'Brien.
You see Kieran O'Brien, he's being brought into the middle of the field. They need his energy, they need that intensity so they can maintain and sustain possession and keeping the pressure on LA. He's a good introduction in the second half. His father was a player for the national team, Fran. His brother, Leighton O'Brien, as well was a player. So it comes from a good pedigree.
Federal Way, Washington. So many players from the Pacific Northwest now dotting rosters in Major League Soccer. It is appropriate indeed that Seattle will be our next expansion team. Can I throw in the name? I know they're voting for it. Seattle Alliance, Seattle Republic, Seattle FC for the Birds. Emerald City FC is your winner. Write it in, Seattle. Be heard. Maybe I'm the only one who thinks that. Here is Vanny. Next week, the Rapids travel to Kansas City, April the 5th on Saturday. The Galaxy are quickly back in action on Thursday at home against San Jose. Here, it's Donovan! And this back four can do no wrong. Kimura taps it away.
Great ball from Xavier, great diagonal. Donovan's in a perfect position. It just comes down technically on his thigh. And surprised at the reaction, he didn't get off his foot. Kimura did well.
He's no young pup, but he's finding the fitness of one. His cross out of reach of everyone.
One of the things we talked about at the beginning of the game, Max, is those deep runs from the midfield. And give credit to Colorado again. They were playing with one up top, but all four midfielders have, anytime they've broken out wide, they've pushed up and gotten into the spaces.
Manny, looping ball. Donovan will be able to play it. Once again marked by Kimura.
This time Donovan's takeoff position is much more narrow, much more central. And he's been finding success because he's getting closer to the goal. It's been more difficult. Before he was staying out more isolated, very wide, too far away from the goal.
Husky Kimura has put a figurative Kimura on Donovan today. Gets through, Kungul reaching back, still able to foil it. Long ball again. Intended for Brandon McDonald.
McDonald's been a bright spot, though. In the second half coming in, I think he's breathed a little life into the midfield of LA. He's gotten himself in good position. He's been moving well, trying to get into the seams. He's won some good balls in the midfield. I think he's a talent.
So many times in this league's history, you find talents where you least expect it. Obviously, scouting for teams not up to snuff with the other professional franchises in the United States. So you do find some gems in the rough. Nice touch by Keel, it would appear.
And you see the attention to detail of players that are contributing, getting back, shadowing Beckham when he's trying to get himself available and open. You see Clymer try to get it to him more quickly. He just made a movement of about 10 yards, but he had 3 Colorado players around him.
Christopher, obviously the game's out of reach. What do you tell your team in these last few minutes? What are you trying to achieve, obviously, this early in the season?
Well, I think what they're doing now, you're seeing a little bit better possession, keeping the ball, looking for the wide points. You see Beckham, he's so clean with his technique, even when he's running backwards.
His cross hasn't had enough opportunities to play one in like that.
I think the final conclusion, the final concentration from LA hasn't been pinpoint sharp, and they haven't had the timing of the runs, the movements, for whatever reason. We just saw Donovan in a situation where 8 out of 10 times he would have scored if it dropped into his feet. He didn't. The reaction hasn't been there with the team. And you have to give credit to Colorado because they forced LA with the tongue hanging out to chase this game.
Gomez away from Vanny. Terry Cook looking to put the final touches on an MVP performance on this night. Bryant into Cronin. Well, Pablo Mastroeni's going to get a snug 12 minutes or so as he's getting off his several layers of clothing before coming in on a obviously chilly night, as always is this time of year in the Denver area. Donovan, Ruiz.
So then from Kiel.
They have just not been sharp in attack. You have to imagine it's going to get better. Maybe the elements, maybe the conditions here tonight.
Yeah, but the splitting pass was better from Donovan. You see, he's operating now from a more central position. I just think when things are not going right, get him the ball more, get him in a position where he can make things happen. Because he is a player that can change a game, and obviously David Beckham as well. Colorado
living on the counterattack and eating well on the counterattack, it must be said. O'Brien off to Terry Cook.
Is better, intelligent in possession, trying to keep the ball, forcing LA to go from side to side. You got to give credit to the back four. Sorry, Max. Keel has done well. Erpen has done well. These are players.
Sensational.
They don't have the jets, but their positioning has been good. The reading of the game has been very good as well.
I read that back four, and I thought it was going to be lambs to the slaughter. The absolute opposite. They have quelled everything LA's thrown at them. Clark. Oh boy, 4-0! Colin Clark like a hot knife through butter! A historic night and a historic drubbing!
I like this player. He's a special player. He sees when the other team is down, a little split step, slalom, stays with it, picks up his head, and that final little touch. Look at this. Getting the momentum, keeping possession, interchanging from his left to his right, and seeing the opening down low, right below Cronin. Big goal.
The way this is going, LA has to be careful in these final 10 minutes that it doesn't get worse. He becomes the 4th different goal scorer. John DiRamondo out. Pablo Mastroeni, the leader, the face of this franchise, comes in. Maybe the best defense, Christopher, at this point for LA is wave the white flag when it comes to attacking, because the rear guard just cannot handle it. Cook, open goal, crossed it back in.
Well, I think you got to evolve as a team. You got to figure it out. This is a part of football. You got in defense of LA, you got your 2 star players. Look at this run from Donovan. That's a better connection right there.
Something positive to take back to LA with.
But the ball was great from Chris Klein. And that was a 40, 50-yard ball. It was a type of Beckham ball. Great run. Better timing and coordination from Donovan to get in behind. Again, he started more narrow, and he's just finding success right off that central defender of Verping.
Last year, the Galaxy allowed 5 goals, but that was the match against New York where they scored 4. Different outcome here. One-way traffic.
Getting back to my point earlier, you know, the altitude, your 2 big international players are away, they've had to travel, and that makes it very difficult. Even Real Madrid, Barcelona, Milan, Roma, Juventus, they've had matches where they lose 4-5-0 when you get blown out because they only know one way to play football. You can see Hurra is trying to play the right way. They're trying to get into attack, trying to move the ball through the midfield. They've just been beaten at their game, and you can see that the team just doesn't have that spark to continue at that tempo.
And after that 4th goal, you talk about polar opposite reactions. Ruud Gullit and company motionless, resigned on their bench. On the other bench, it was like a hug convention for the Rapids. Everyone hugging everyone, celebrating what appears to be an eye-opening result. Ball by Vanni, quickly knocked out, as has been the case throughout. LA actually looked more dangerous in the first half, had certainly more chances. Bouna Koundoul's been able to rest pretty easy in half number 2. Xavier. Nice ball to Klein, loses his footing. Klein wins it back from Burciaga Jr. That's the kind of grit you want to see this late stage. Clark. Clark oozing with confidence now after the goal. Goals from Cook, Gomez, Cummings, and Clark. In towards Gomez! Hercules making it 5 almost. Maybe a second bite of the cherry. Terry Cook. Hercules. LaBroca for O'Brien. Having fun right now.
And you see the idea is good when they're getting into the box there. Great movement again, Cook, Gomez.
Stephen Keel. Well, they were triumphant in the opening round in 2007, but faded as the season wore on. Hope it's a different story here. Clark, Gomez. Christopher, this has to be worst case scenario for LA. They're under siege. They've allowed 4 goals against a team that are majorly shorthanded coming in. So, I mean, obviously the scoreline could get worse, but nothing really, very few things positively you can take out of this.
Yeah, when you look at Fernando Clavijo, he took a lot of criticism. A lot of people got on his back, and And I know his idea of football. I know what he's tried to do, how he's transmitted his energy. He's gotten so much out of the young players, squeezing the lemon, pulling the team together. He got Christian Gomez. They had to give up a designated player spot as well. And he's done so much to try to get this. He's working without a goalkeeper coach. His assistant coach went away, but he sticks with it. He's a fighter, and you got to give credit to Fernando Clavijo.
Right about the hour mark, just short of it, it was 1-0. In the following 25, 26 minutes, 3 additional goals. As the back broken for LA. Kimura. We'll find it hard to believe that Donovan would struggle with a guy we never heard of in Kosuke Kimura. Obviously, he's not 100%. I think it's safe to say that.
Well, we see that Donovan has stepped up a little in the second half. He's gotten behind him on several occasions. Just that final little movement or having a complimenting player. Donovan put a great splitting pass into Ruiz as well. You talked about it, Max. You said that just sharpness is a little bit off. He tried to make a second cut around the defender.
Terry Cook took the captain's armband when Christian Gomez was replaced. Ruiz chasing.
Although I like the way Ruiz came out in the first half. You know, you can see there's a certain amount that you exert yourself trying to get in positions. The service wasn't there in the first half. Ruiz is a player like Beckham. They work on eye contact and that intuition and memory. The Galaxy in the first half were playing. They wanted to make sure everybody was there before they made the pass. They have to play more quickly and accelerate the play.
That picture is worth 1,000 words. It is very telling. The Galaxy bench. Well, they get the expansion team on Thursday at home. Obviously, they look to bounce back. Should win that match. As Clark breaks up the left. Not finished having fun. Xavier. The genesis of the Galaxy demise, the penalty. And you don't want a player injured at this late stage if you're either team. Obviously, on a dark day like this, if you're LA.
You see Ruiz coming back, showing, checking for the ball. He was going to drop it off to Beckham. Just gets clipped from behind. And Mastroeni is always in the neighborhood. This is what he does well.
Pires. Ruiz on Roca. Siaga Jr. Beckham taking it over Kiel, but they did dislodge the Rapids defense momentarily. But now they're on the way back. Pires.
You see the marking has been great from Colorado. We just saw a moment ago LaBroca coming with Gordon. Gordon is playing forward. He's coming deep, and LaBroca is staying right by his side. The whole coordination of the way the team has moved. And Max, from where we are in the booth, you can see the lines. For 90 minutes, they've been organized, disciplined, compact, cohesive. Great work from the way that they've come out on both sides of the ball. Obviously, it helps with the altitude in the second half.
Hercules and Clark. O'Brien ripped down by Abel Xavier. Uh-oh, it just got worse. It just got worse. First red card of the season. Abel Xavier, who went forehead to forehead with Abbey Okulaja. You just can't do that.
He's been one of the better defenders in the back for the Galaxy. They need to count on him. They rely on him for the next game as a leader. And again, the contribution, the runs from the midfielders. Look at the breakout again. They're getting the run.